Another piece of advice that has come my way. I was having a chat with someone yesterday that I met in this campsite, and he was telling me that he was a divorced man, and he didn't want to carry on living in his house, and sold the house, lived in his van, and got himself a little dog. He doesn't work, he's got enough money to plod along on. And I says to him, look, I says, how did you cope with the divorce and just being dumped? And I asked him all these questions about how long he was married for, and he was married for like 26 years in total, until one day she just said that she was going. There wasn't even a downfall. There wasn't even an inkling that anything was wrong. It was just completely out of the blue. A bit like mine, really. A bit like mine. Just out of the blue that she was off, and yeah, she just disappeared, and that was that. He sold the house, gave her half the money, got himself his motorhome, and lives in that full time, like I say, with his dog. But I said to him, I said, how do you cope emotionally? And he just said that he just let it happen. He, I mean, this is a couple of years ago. This happened to him now. I think it was about two and a half years ago. This happened to him, and he said once he got the practical stuff out of the way, got the motorhome, picked up this rescue dog, and it was him and the dog. But his emotions were all over the place, and it was so nice to talk to him, because I was beginning to feel that I was a bit of I don't know, a bit of a nutcase or something, because of what I've said and how I feel and how much it's dragging me down still. But he went through the whole thing. He had his health issues as well, and he wished his wife was there to, to be there for that moral support and such like. And he was on about triggers, and he says he still gets them right to this day. He goes, there's various things, just like I've said on here before about couples. When you're out on a walk and you see a couple arm in arm and all loved up, which is beautiful, but it triggers him because he remembers a life when he used to live like that. And he's talking about television, and there's stuff that he avoids on TV as well, because he gets quite emotional when he sees a wedding, and I'm exactly the same. Like I said, I watched Big Bang Theory quite a bit, and every time one of them lot gets married, it triggers me and makes me think of our wedding, and we had a good wedding. We was down in Wales and got married by the coast, and it was fucking lovely. And it breaks my heart to think that we went through all that for it to fall apart, And anyway, that's what he was saying. It was so nice to have a chat with him, but my heart felt so sorry for him, and I said that, I was going through the same, and I'm fucking struggling with it all. And I says the only way I can get things off my chest is via talking to a camera on YouTube. And he goes, listen, mate, he goes, do what you got to do. He goes, don't fight it. He says, just let the emotions be there. Don't try and make any drastic decisions on changing yourself. Just be who you've got to be, and just go with the flow. And I guess he kind of made sense. He didn't make any drastic changes, apart from he had to sell the house and get his motorhome, but that was what he wanted anyway. He was content with that. He enjoys his own company, and he goes around exploring, and seems to be living his best life at the moment. And I says to him, would you ever get into another relationship? And he puts his hands up like this. He goes, never say never. He goes, but I'll never get married again. So I agree with that. I won't marry again. That's it. That much is absolute certain. Another relationship, I don't know. I fucking love the idea, of course I do, but marriage, no, I don't think so. It's just too much pain, isn't it, when you lose it, I guess. But yeah, he's I should have took his number. It would have been nice to remain in contact with him, but I didn't want to, I don't want to throw all of my negativity at him when he's been fighting himself. But he seems quite content at the moment. But he says that he gets good and bad days, especially when he's feeling poorly and needs someone. And I mean, he's quite a bit older than me, and he hasn't got a big support network. He's got no parents. He says he's got a couple of mates that he goes down the pub with every now and then, but you know what blokes are like. You know what blokes are like. Not all blokes talk about their feelings and stuff, do they? I mean, I guess my best mate is exactly the same. You know, we do practical stuff, but we don't talk about emotions and whatnot. You know, just don't. I don't know why that is. I've never shied away from talking about my emotions. Anyway, that's just got me thinking today. I just hope I can do as he has. You know, just take one day at a time, step by step, get through it. Let these feelings and emotions sort of come with me, and eventually maybe it'll get easier and I'll adapt into something new. I don't know. I say it's even though a good bit of time has passed now, it's still, I still get days where it's completely fucking raw, like it's still the same day as being dumped. Do you know what I mean? Even, you know, I know sometimes I maybe come across a bit more positive. I have ideas in my head and bits and pieces, and I probably come across as positive, but it doesn't last long. It don't, you know, it's difficult, and it definitely plays havoc on your emotions. So anyway, that's where we are today. Another week has passed. Tomorrow, Monday, the week begins again, and we'll wait and see what happens. And I guess I'm going to have to make that decision tomorrow about my whole dieting thing. I'm in two minds. I'm in absolutely two minds to get back on the diet and start looking after myself a bit more. But I wish I could just deal with this. I wish I could take all of this, the anxiety, the upset, the negativity, and fucking throw it all off. And I know exercise and all that would help with endorphins and whatnot, you know. But like I said to you before, when you're in your lowest mood, you just can't be asked to do anything. I'm going to keep processing it. I'm going to keep working on it, and I will get there one way or another, you know. With your help as well, your comments and your emails and people reaching out to me, which has been beautiful. I mean, I can't tell you how glad I am that I started a YouTube channel talking about this. I know it's only a small channel, but the people that have been in touch with me have offered cracking advice, you know, and just talking, just having someone to talk to, even about something completely unrelated, it's been really nice, you know. It just yeah, like I say, it's some form of invisible online family that I've, you know, managed to create for myself, and I'm grateful for that, and all the kind words. I tell you, they mean the world to me. So anyway, that's it. I'm waffling on. I mean, we're 8 minutes in, and I ain't really said I've said a lot, but I hope I've made my point. Anyway, I'll speak to you tomorrow.